Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are strapping in for maybe the biggest ride in philosophy and theology, really.
Yeah.
Why does the universe? Why does everything exist in the first place? It's not just, a big question. It feels like the ultimate starting point for understanding anything.
It truly is. And just to be really clear about our mission today, we aren't trying to get into the physics of it all, the mechanics, the how of creation.
Right.
We're looking at a very specific set of sources that focus purely on the theological motivation. So assuming a creator with infinite power, why choose to act at all? What's the why behind existence itself?
And the distinction is so important. Our sources today, they aren't talking about, say, the Big Bang. They're really centered around just a few simple but really big ideas. Ideas that connect the creator's, inherent perfection with this deep, almost necessary desire for self-manifestation. So if you've ever felt that pull, that curiosity about the why, this material offers, a strikingly coherent answer. Okay, let's unpack this. So when we as humans try to even think about the motivation for creation, we immediately hit a kind of logical trap, don't we? We just naturally assume the creator acts for the same reasons we do. I mean, every single thing we do, whether it's working late or just deciding what's for dinner, it comes from some kind of lack, right?
Exactly. The argument in these sources is pretty clear. All human motivation boils down to one of two things: necessity or desire.
Okay.
You do your taxes because, you have to. It's necessary to avoid trouble. You eat ice cream because you want it. You desire the pleasure. Both are ways to satisfy some kind of deficit or want we feel.
Okay, so if we then shift our gaze to the creator, the foundational idea in these sources is that the creator is absolutely perfect, completely self-sufficient. How does that starting point, total perfection, just completely dismantle our usual human way of thinking about necessity and desire?
Well, because in necessity and desire, they're really products of incompleteness, aren't they?
Right.
They imply some kind of weakness or a dependence on something external for fulfillment. If the creator is, by definition, absolutely perfect, infinite, then there's nothing external he needs to get. There's no internal gap that needs filling.
So, like, if he created to gain knowledge, that would mean he was ignorant before.
Precisely. Or if he created to feel loved, it implies he was needy beforehand. Neither fits with the idea of perfection.
Wow, that's a really fascinating philosophical jump. It suggests that if the creator acted, the action wasn't about self-fulfillment. He was already totally fulfilled, but purely about self-expression.
Yeah.
Or self-disclosure.
Yes, exactly. The motive can't come from deficiency. It must come from abundance. If we take away the idea of a creator who needs anything, then we have to look for a motivation rooted in just sheer abundance, inherent brilliance. It becomes an outpouring, not an intake. We're looking for why someone would do something that doesn't benefit them, but benefits, the subject and the observer.
So if the reason for creation isn't to fix something missing, what does that make the universe itself? Is it just, I don't know, a happy accident?
Oh, far from it. That shift from necessity to expression is precisely where the universe gets sort of reimagined. It moves from maybe a dry theological concept to something much more vibrant, more alive. The framework describes the universe not as some necessary machine, but more like a grand art gallery intended for viewing.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The sources literally describe the universe as an amazing, endless show, or a beautiful, huge art exhibition designed to catch our attention and make us think.
Yeah, a spectacle on a cosmic scale.
And it's meant to draw in thinking observers.
Think about the level of detail involved. It's not just, one painting. It's billions of galaxies, each with its own incredible structure, right down to the tiniest subatomic level, all happening at once.
Wow.
It suggests this, aesthetic richness that has no limits. If the creator is an artist, then the artwork is meant to be almost overwhelming in its diversity and complexity.
But I do wonder, for someone maybe grappling with the sheer size of it all, or the suffering that exists, does framing the universe as just a show sound a bit, I don't know, cold or callous? Does this framework handle that tension?
It tries to, yeah. It does this by tying the spectacle back to the benefit of the observers, not the need of the artist.
Yeah.
The sources emphasize that, the vast majority of people are fundamentally happy to be human and glad to be here. They enjoy the love, the care, the fun, the excitement of life. So the creation is fundamentally experienced as a gift, a benevolent display, even acknowledging the hardships that exist within that framework of, say, test and change.
That connects really nicely to that analogy they use about the brilliant sculptor. If you have someone with just staggering skill, someone who can carve these hyper-realistic, deeply emotional statues. How would anyone ever know about that genius unless they actually made the art? Their skill is just potential, right?
Right.
Latent potential until it manifests in the stone.
Exactly. Creation becomes the necessary medium for revealing that skill. Everything, the giant spiral of Andromeda, the detailed structure of a tiny virus, the unbelievable complexity of your own brain right now, it's all presented as a piece of artistry.
A piece of artistry.
The universe is basically the creator's comprehensive portfolio, and the purpose of all that art is to convey specific information about the artist.
Okay, that's the crucial pivot then. The art isn't just decoration, it's instructional. It means every single created thing is like a symbol we're meant to decode.
Exactly right. The artistry isn't just random beauty, it serves a specific instructional purpose. Every single thing we observe, everything in the universe, tells us something about the creator's qualities. These are often called his names or attributes. So if you view the universe as this incredibly complex biography, then every event, every detail reveals a facet of the subject's, well, personality or nature. This mapping, that's the key insight into the why we're asking about.
So how do we even begin decoding this cosmic cryptography? What specific features of reality map directly onto the creator's attributes, according to this framework?
Okay, let's start with just the visual splendor. The sheer variety and beauty in creation. I mean, millions of species, uncountable colors, endless textures, landscapes. This shows us his splendor.
Okay, splendor.
Think about it. Why are there hummingbirds and whales and giant redwood trees? Why isn't there just like one perfectly functional gray animal that does everything?
So the argument from the sources is that this extravagance isn't accidental. It's a deliberate display of this inexhaustible aesthetic power. It proves the creator isn't limited to just one design or one function.
Right. Comparing the vastness of, say, a nebula to the intricate mechanics of a simple wildflower forces you to acknowledge this rich, limitless creative spirit. And then we move from the aesthetic, the beauty, to the structural. If you look at the big picture, what keeps the whole thing running? What keeps it from just collapsing into chaos? That's where the amazing order and harmony come in.
Things we often just take for granted, right?
Right.
Like the changing seasons, or gravity always working the same way, or physical laws being consistent across billions of light years. It can seem passive, almost like a machine that was built and then just left to run on its own.
But the sources argue this enduring structure actually shows his will and might. The universe's order isn't passive. It reflects an active, ongoing power that sustains it moment by moment.
Ah, okay.
The fact that the cosmos doesn't just fly apart, that planets stay in their orbits, that energy transfers predictably, all of that demonstrates an intelligence that maintains control. The sheer complexity requires astonishing power, and the predictability requires unwavering will.
That really reframes order. It's not just efficient, it's a testament to sheer unstoppable power. But, okay, structure and beauty get us part of the way. What about the quality of interaction, between the creator and the beings living within this system?
That brings us to the, let's call it the effective quality, the inherent kindness woven into the structure of reality, the very act of giving us everything we need, which includes basics like air, water, food, and the whole environment required for us to even think, shows his mercy, compassion, and grace.
The provision aspect.
Yeah.
But the sources mention it goes deeper than just basic needs, don't they? They talk about fulfilling even secret wishes.
They do. It speaks to the nuance of care. I mean, think about the complexity required just to provide for your specific metabolic needs right this second. Now multiply that by billions of living beings, all while balancing the immense forces of a churning planet.
Yeah, that's staggering.
That demonstrates not just power, but profound attention and, well, sympathy. It shows the entire system is set up not just for bare existence, but for the welfare and maybe even the ease of the thinking observer within it.
So we've kind of connected the dots here.
Yeah.
From a creator who doesn't need anything to one who manifests perfection through artistry, and then one who uses that artistry to reveal specific, admirable qualities.
Yeah.
It really feels like it's all building towards one final singular motivation. Okay, let's try and bring this deep dive home then. If the universe is the biography and creation is the artwork, then the simplest, most central reason given in the sources has to be the ultimate motivation. God wants to introduce himself to us clearly and completely.
This is that drive for manifestation we touched on earlier, right? But now we see it as the ultimate goal. The sources use that really compelling analogy. Every potential skill, every talent, it sort of wants to be shown. It's like an internal necessity for a perfected quality to be displayed. A seed doesn't just choose to sprout to get out of the dirt. It sprouts because it contains the potential of a tree, and that potential is pressing for expression.
So if that inherent drive for manifestation exists even in something as simple as potential, like a seed, it must be exponentially more true for the ultimate creator who possesses infinite perfection.
Absolutely. Since the creator has no weakness, no lack, he simply wills to display his amazing creative power and qualities, his might, his omnipotence without any constraint. He creates things, puts them in the world, specifically to manifest his power, making the revelation of himself the central reason for everything existing. The goal is just complete, thorough, undeniable self-introduction.
So what does this all mean? What's the final kind of unified synthesis we can pull from these sources?
It seems to be this. The universe exists because the Creator willed to display His brilliance and perfection through the most elaborate, magnificent means possible. And this display is aimed entirely at us, at conscious, reflective beings.
Right.
We are meant to use our minds to look at the world, to feel wonder, admiration, appreciation for the Creator's splendor, His order, His mercy. And through that observation, through reflection, we get to know Him. The entire spectacle is designed for achieving knowledge and appreciation.
That really elevates the act of just observing the world, doesn't it? It goes beyond mere scientific inquiry. It becomes this profound act of decoding. So the central takeaway from this deep dive is that the why of existence is rooted in perfect self-disclosure, a monumental, intentional display of brilliance so that thinking observers like us can achieve knowledge and appreciation of the one who created it all. We aren't just looking at random particles, we're decoding an intentional, elaborate introduction.
And this framework, it offers potentially endless application. If the universe truly is a comprehensive self-introduction where every single detail maps back to an attribute's splendor, will, mercy, and so on, I'd challenge you, the listener, to try using this decoding cue in your everyday life.
Okay.
Pick the smallest, most mundane thing you encounter today. Maybe just a single leaf on a tree outside, or even the reflection in a drop of water on your window. And try consciously to map all those revealed attributes onto that one object. Ask yourself, what specific detail about that leaf or that water drop stands out to you as the clearest evidence of an underlying attribute, like splendor or order or mercy? Just keep observing, keep decoding, keep learning, because, according to this view, the show is truly endless.